Good evening, YouTube. Haven't made a video here in like a week. I know that I'm supposed to be making these on a regular basis here, so but it's been a minute since I made one, so I wanted to touch base with you guys and say hello and talk about some of the cool stuff that I've learned just recently. So welcome to another episode of The Shit Show. All right, I remember I said I wasn't gonna sing anymore. I just couldn't resist. I mean, how can I resist? So I have been reading, or I should say listening to, because I'm really an audiobook person. What is it? A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And some of you guys may be familiar with him. He's been made famous to me by Miss Oprah Winfrey. His book, A New Earth, came out a few years ago, actually, and it's about awakening to your purpose. And I am a certified life purpose coach, and I will never say that I feel like I know everything possible about your purpose, but I do feel like I know quite a few things about helping someone discover what their purpose actually is. So in A New Earth, I've come to some new realizations. I've definitely learned some things about the things that prevent us from getting to our purpose, and that's what I want to talk about this evening. So as you know, I'm a big advocate of really teaching people how to live fearlessly and to boldly walk into their purpose. I feel like I am gifted to help inspire and motivate, because that's something I get a great deal of joy from doing, and it's something that people typically seek me out for assistance with, helping them understand things, or maybe look at something in a different way, provide some different insights, so on and so forth. So I do a lot of reading, lots of self-reflection, because I think it would be silly for me to call myself a coach, call myself a speaker, call myself an inspirer, and not spend a great deal of my time actually learning and continuing to evolve myself. So reading A New Earth, and one of the things that Eckhart states is that fear is not really the issue. Fear is kind of a byproduct that we have of identity, trying to always identify with something. Now I'm going to just kind of stop right there, because I feel like that's a heavy concept in itself. When I think about my identity, I think about really how I define myself. So I define myself as a Black woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm an employee. I have lots of different roles that I take on as well. But the identity of who I am is really a Black woman who is nearly 40 years old, a wife, and a mother. Those are the ways that I really categorize myself. Those are the things that I use when I'm trying to relate to other people. Those are the topics of most of my conversations. So this is really the way that I look at myself. And so what Eckhart has said is that having an identity creates separation between yourself and other people. So I'm going to pause there as well. So of course we're supposed to be separate beings. Okay, we're supposed to be separate entities. But if I look at myself as completely separate from somebody else, then it's much more likely that I'm going to start making comparisons or holding people to a certain level of standard based on my own experiences, or really trying to prejudge people based on a certain set of characteristics that they have, or roles that they take on. Okay, so it's identifying with a role or something that you feel like is a characteristic that you may have, and then filtering your life through that identity. Okay, so for example, even though I love the concept of empowering all women, I definitely feel that Black women have some unique needs based on our experiences in this country, and based on things that we've learned about ourselves in this country. Somebody is at the door here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so do you have something that I can help you with, ma'am? Hi.
Hi.
It's good to see you. Thank you for that special hug. All right, my littlest one. So, because of the unique experiences I feel like we've had in this country, and even unique experiences that we've had around the world due to oppression, due to systemic racism, due to issues associated with sexism, I feel like I want to be able to address some of those needs, or help us heal from some of those unique issues. And while there's nothing wrong with that, having that identity, or having that desire to separate women into those categories when looking at them could present an issue where, one could feel like, hey, if these women don't fall into this category or this classification, then they're not experiencing issues that are just as difficult or just as challenging, or now putting these women from other cultures or ethnicities in a box where, hey, they don't really know a real struggle, or again, just looking at them and filtering my experience with them through the lens of a Black woman. So that was really eye-opening for me. And the reason is that if I look at every person, if I look at every situation through a filter, then that really alters that situation. It almost puts a limit on the experience that I can have with that person, or the many ways I can understand that situation. And if that's the case, can I really say that I'm so enlightened, or that I'm so so ready to help people take their lives to the next level? And I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to say yes. Reason is because I realize it. That's really what we're all here to do. We're all here to elevate ourselves, but we're all here to help each other participate in that. And it's really allowing us to become aware of who we are, to help us get in touch, I believe, with our spirit, or that God that lies inside of us. And we can only do that for each other if we're actually willing to see that God that lies in each one of us, and not to see that second, and the flaws and the issues and the characteristics and problems that we have first. we should see the God in each other first. And when we do that, so many times all the issues, the flaws, the anger, the resentment, the jealousy, just the misconceptions and preconceived notions that we have can actually fall away on their own. Okay, if we look to see the spirit and the love within people. And I know that's easier said than done. Just sounds like a good concept, right? But when it actually comes to having to put that into practice, a lot of times we have difficulty with it because it hasn't been modeled for us. As somebody who's attended churches, in multiple places across the country, and attended several churches here in the Arizona area, I can say that while I've gone there and definitely learned different principles, learned different ways to apply the knowledge that I gained from the Bible to different issues or situations in my life, I've never gone to church and had a mind-blowing experience. I've never gone to church and had a true shift in my thinking. I've gone to church and felt guilty about some things. I've gone to church and, really started looking at the importance of developing a relationship with Spirit and, rekindling that desire to know God and really follow God. I've gone there and had that happen several times, but I've never gone to any church and just walked away with this moment of just, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've missed it for all these years. I can't believe I didn't understand what, Jesus was trying to teach me, or I can't believe that, I was so close to God all this time, but really couldn't see him or didn't understand how to tap into him, or, I never walked away with just this strong aha moments. And I am a seeker. Truly, I am a spiritual seeker, and so I love it when I can have paradigm shifts. I love it when I find out my way of thinking may have been incorrect, or that there's a better way, or a more spiritual way, or a more godly way of doing this. So I'm a big fan of that. Like I said, even though I don't support any religion in particular, I love Spirit. I love the interaction and the experience that I have with God, and I love really being able to tap into this just this knowledge that he provides for all of us, that knowing and that wanting to find out more and do more and be more. And when I say more, it's not necessarily more than who I am today. It's just more in touch with the God that lives inside of me. So I'm just telling you, my mind has been blown by A New Earth. I'm not even completely finished reading it yet. I'm only on chapter 7. And like I said, the shit that I have learned is just amazing. And I mean capital S, capital H, capital I, capital T. It is very much a spirit-filled healing book, reminding women of their intuitive and transformational nature. So it's one that I will recommend, and one that I'll also keep you up to date with in terms of the findings and things that I have. So appreciate you listening tonight. If you have any questions or any feedback, feel free to leave that information below. I would love to answer some of your questions and hear, from what hear some feedback from you guys, right, about what you think. So have an awesome night, and I will check back in with you very soon.